All right, Chapter 4, Section 3, Real-World Problems. So this is the last section before the quiz, and everybody's favorite. You'll be able to solve real-world problems algebraically and their actual word problems this time. So algebraic equations can be used to model real-world problems. You can use variables to represent unknown quantities in the problem. For example, Shirley wants to make a drawing in the frame shown below. The border of the frame is X inches wide, meaning it's X in every direction. That's kind of like the mat. And the dimensions of the drawing are 12 inches by 5 inches. So the actual picture, the white part where the picture can fit in, are 12 by 5. If the outer perimeter of the frame is 58 inches, what is the width of the frame of the border? Okay? So first thing I would have done is, if they wouldn't have had it, I would have drawn a picture like they did and label everything so you can see all the dimensions. So we have X inches all the way around, and then long is 12 inches for the picture, and wide is 5 inches for the picture. All right, so we know that the perimeter is at all the sides, or 2 times length times width, because you have 2 lengths and 2 widths. So what they're doing is 12 times 2x. So where are these numbers coming from? So here's the 12, and here's an x, and here's an x. So this 12 plus 2x, let me erase it so I only underline what I need. 12 plus 2x, this part is from the length, because we have a 12 and we have 2 x's. Okay, then for the width, we have 5 inches right here, and we have an x and an x right here. So that's where the 5 plus 2x comes in, okay? And then we know that the perimeter is 58. So what they're doing then is they added the like terms. So they took 12 plus 5 and got 17, and they took 2x plus 2x and got the 4. So now you have 2 times the quantity, 17 plus 4x. So they distributed that 2, since those are unlike terms. They use the distributive property. I'm going to do my jumps underneath since I don't have a lot of room. 2 times 17 is 34. 2 times 4x is 8x. So you have 34 plus 8x equals 58. Now it's a basic two-step equation. We need to undo. Now get rid of the 34. So you're going to subtract 34 from both sides. 58 minus 34 is 24. So you get 8x equals 24. Undo your multiplication with division. And x equals 3, okay? So the border of the frame is 3 inches wide. So each one of these x's would be 3, 3, 3, and 3. Okay? So now it says solve a word problem by using bar modeling. All right, so with the bar modeling, it says Lisa wrote a riddle. A positive number is 1/3 of another positive number. If their difference is 48, find the 2 positive numbers. Okay, so let's make a picture. So it says a positive number is 1/3 of another positive number. So the first number is something, and the other number is 1/3 of that. So if we take the first number and break it into 3 equal pieces, we know the second number is 1 piece out of 3 because it's 1/3. Okay, so if the second number is 1/3, so this is the second number is 1/3, that means the first number is 2/3 because it has 1/3 less. So if this has 3 pieces, 2/3 is 48. Okay, because if it says their difference is 48, right? So 3/3 minus 1/3 is 2/3. So that's their difference. 3/3 for the first number, minus 1/3 equals 2/3. So 2/3, that's their difference, equals the number 48. All right, so what they're saying here then, if 2 units is 48, 48 divided by 2, that means 1 unit is 24. And if we do 24 for 1 unit times 3 units, that means the first number is 72 and the second number is 24. And if you do 72 minus 24, you get the difference of 48, which is what the problem said. Now, if you do that algebraically, we say the first number is x, the second number is 1/3 of x, so we do x minus 1/3 of x equals 48. Now, x, we need a common denominator with thirds, so 3/3 is 1. So 1x, 1/1 is equal to 3/3. Those are equivalent fractions. So 3/3 x minus 1/3 x is 2/3 x equals 48. We divide to undo our multiplication, but you can't divide fractions. You multiply by the reciprocal, which is 2/3. Those are all going to cancel out, and x equals You can cross cancel here. This is going to be 24. This is going to be a 1. 24 times 3 is 72, which is what we already got. Okay, so now we're going to go on to a cone. All right, so it says, Mark wrote a riddle. A negative number is 2/5 of another negative number. If the sum of the two negative numbers is negative 35, find the two negative numbers. Okay, so therefore, for our bar model, our first number, let me freeze this. First number and second number, our second number is 2/5, so it's going to be 2 pieces out of 5, which means this first one's going to be 5 pieces out of 5. Okay, so it says, and the sum, so if we add them together, it will be negative 35. So that means together, 5 out of 5 pieces plus 2 out of 5 pieces means 7 out of 5 pieces is going to be negative 35. Okay, so 7 units is negative 35. All right, so if we do negative 35 divide by 7, that means each unit is 5, negative 5. Okay, so negative 35 divided by 7 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, means each piece is negative 5. So each one of these would be negative 5. And if we know that, then we can figure out what each number is. So negative 5 plus negative 5 means the second number is negative 10. Negative 5 plus negative 5 plus negative 5 plus negative 5 plus negative 5 means the top number is negative 35. Excuse me, not negative 35, negative 25. And if we add those, let me erase that, that's horrible. This is negative 25. And if we add those together, negative 25 plus negative 10 gives us a sum of negative 35. Okay, now if you want to do that algebraically and not with a picture, what we're going to have is our first number is x, plus our second number is 2/5 of x, of means multiply, and together they equal negative 35. So we're going to combine our like terms. X, if we want common denominators, it's going to be 5 over 5x plus 2 out of 5x, like we had said a minute ago, is going to be 7 out of 5x equals negative 35. Now, to undo multiplication, we divide, but we don't divide fractions. We multiply by the reciprocal, which is 5/7. Okay, and so we're still going to get x equals negative 25. And then 2/5 of x means it's going to be negative 10. Okay, I'm going to read the one about the theater to you, and then I'm going to turn it off and try to have you set it up, and then I'll do it step by step with you to see if we can get it together. All right, so here we go. A theater is divided into a red section and a blue section. If you look at the picture, the red section has 350 seats, and the rest of the seats are in the blue section. The tickets in the red section cost $75. The tickets in the blue section cost $50, and that information is given to you in the table as well. A says, write an expression for the total amount collected from the sales of the tickets for all the seats in the two sections. And then B says, the total sales when all the tickets are sold are 68,750. How many seats are in the blue section? Okay, so I'm going to stop and have you try A, write an expression for the total amount collected from the sale of the tickets, and then we'll go over it and move on to B. Okay, so for A, it says write an expression for the total amount collected for the sale of tickets for all seats in the two sections. Well, if you go back to the original problem, we know there are 350 seats in the red section, and the red section costs $75. So I do 350 times 75. Plus, we also have a blue section. We know that the blue section costs $50, but we don't know how many seats there are. So that's why my variable, what I don't know, x, is the number of seats in blue. So I did 50 times x. Okay, I do have some multiplication that I can do here. I can do 350 times 75, which gives me 26,250, plus 50x. Those are unlike terms, so we can't combine them, dollars. So our expression is just this, $26,250 plus 50x dollars. Okay, so let's move on to B, and then I'm going to stop you again, let you work on it. The total sales when the tickets are sold are $68,750. How many seats are in the blue section? So use the expression from above and the total to solve for your unknown, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I write down the expression up here, 26,250 plus 50x equals, they tell us, 68,750. I'm trying to solve for x. So I have to get rid of the positive 26,250, so I move it to the other side, and I get 50x equals 42,500. Then to get x alone, I need to divide both sides by 50, and 42,500 divided by 50, here's my work on the left, I get 850, so there are 850 seats in the blue section. Okay, last question. I felt it. Okay, you have a question that I don't have, so I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to work it out on here, and you guys are going to work it out on your paper, and then we'll go over it together. Jared has 12 more comic books than Zoe. If they have 28 comic books altogether, find the number of comic books that Jared shared. So I'm going to leave it blank. You guys are going to work it out, and then I'll come back with the answer. All right, so here you go. So Zoe, it says, Jared has 12 more than Zoe, so that means Zoe is X and Jared is X plus 12 because he has 12 more than her. They tell us that the total is 28, so X plus 12 equals 28. I combine my like terms. X plus X is 2X, so I have 2X plus 12 equals 28. Now we need to get our variable alone, so I undo my addition by subtracting 12 to both sides, so I have 2X equals 16. Undo your multiplication with division, you get X equals 8. That means since Zoe was X, she has 8, and Jared is 8 plus 12, which gives you 20. And when you do 8 plus 20, you get the total, which is 28. All right, have a good night. See you later.